What's up, dude?
Oh, another day.
How's your simulation?
Good old Sunday, you know.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for that. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think that's here I got a bottle here in my pocket. I think it's a pop top.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I haven't had that one yet, so let me know what you think. It sounded interesting.
Hard cider, raspberry, and lemon. I wanted to call my podcast INTERBREW,
Yeah.
but there's
I like it. I think it's a good name.
there's like 87 of them already
Really?
on YouTube.
What is it, like, kind of like the style of it? Like people do interviews and drink beer? Or?
Pretty much. I mean, I thought I was original.
Yeah. Well, everything now is thought of. Everyone's always thought of
Yeah.
something.
Like now I'm trying to live out my dream and not work and have a YouTube channel, and of course everybody's already on it. It's like as soon as you get to something, it's too late.
Well, with this whole like coronavirus thing, it kind of forced people to go to the internet and do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they can't work, so how do they pump out stuff by themselves? You know what I mean? And still be relevant and still know what's going on. And so they do podcasts now. They just interview people and whatever.
I mean, it sounds easy, but I really don't think it is.
Well, if you haven't done it before, of course you're gonna change it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, all the guys have been doing it for a while. They got it down to a science. You know, like they're not even writing out questions or nothing. They're just, you already know all the facts about this person or what they think they're gonna talk about or what.
I had a couple questions I thought about asking you.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Yeah. I want to get down to it. I want to get gritty. So what do you remember when the moment that made you want to be like a car guy?
Well, honestly, it started from my dad, you know. He was like, got my license right when I could. I was like 16. I think I got like 15 to 9 months or something like that, and you could do your road test. And then by the time all the paperwork and everything got done and you got your license, you'd be 16 and ready to go. And my dad's like, no, if you want, you know, I'll go half on buying a car, but he's like, I'll get you your first car, but it might need some work or stuff, because you know I got a younger brother and 2 younger sisters, so you know he knew, he's like, if I bought you a car, I'd have to buy all of them a car, so he cut a deal with me. We'll go half and half, you know, I'll find us a cheap car, and he's like, it might need a little bit of work because you know, cars are, at that point, this was like, cars weren't expensive, but they weren't cheap, you know what I mean?
Was that the Ranger?
No, it was that 73 Beetle, remember?
Your first car?
Yeah, that was my first car.
That was amazing.
But we got it, it ran like crap. He's like, here's the service manual, anything that you need, any questions you have. This was before the internet, you know, the internet was full of memes and dial-up and stupid stuff like that. People were just ripping songs online, you know, you go have AIM Instant Messenger, you know, the days like that. So the information wasn't readily available, you know, on the internet to fix this stuff.
You just did the Chiltons, right? That was.
So yeah, so we got like the shop manual, and so I was like, we're gonna learn how to do brakes. Well, it showed you on the paper all the bolts that came out of it, where they went and everything. So you know, you showed me the easy stuff, and yeah, I drove that thing for years.
You were like the only one out of us that had a car, and of course everybody was calling you for a ride to school.
Oh yeah.
And I remember one time we had 7 fucking people jammed.
We were stacking that thing like a box of Twinkies, man. Like it was. We go to pull into the a drive-through, and the car just boom, boom, just bombing out, and I'm just like, oh, there's this literally 4 people across, and like 3 on top of that. Oh man, it was funny.
It was like an automatic stick. It's where it said like 3 gears, and you just kind of smashed it in.
It was real weird. It didn't have a clutch. All of a sudden, you would put it in first, and you would drive, and all of a sudden it'd be like, what? And it'd start revving up, and then you would just shift it. Or they call it an auto stick. It's really
Auto
weird.
stick.
Yeah, and then like for reverse, you would, in the old Volkswagens, you'd push it down and then pop it into reverse. And then it had a high and low gear too, like low range. But yeah, that was a fun car, man. I wish I still had it, but it ended up getting all rusty. And I remember, I think it was you actually.
Yeah, I smashed through the floorboard.
Yeah, common problem with those cars is the battery tray was in the back seat, and it would rust, and the whole floor was rusting out back there, and you stood up to get out, and your foot just went straight through the floor. I was so mad. I was like, damn it! What the hell, man? So then, you know, you could buy the patch panel for that, but eventually the whole floor just started rusting out. So we cut it out, and we tried to weld it, but I had no idea how to weld. My dad didn't know how to weld, and it was such thin steel that you would just burn right through it, you know. And we bought like a crappy $100 Harbor Freight welder, and those things are garbage, you know. It's like you gotta set them perfectly, and the weld just looked like crap. But yeah. Then some lady rear-ended me, so the bumpers were all messed up.
Oh yeah, I remember it broken in half.
Yeah.
I thought you backed out of a parking spot and hit a van.
Yeah, that was the rear bumper that got messed up that way. I was having a shitty day at work. I was working at this Coney Island in the mall, and they didn't want to pay me like a manager, but I was pretty much the manager. They'd leave me by myself. I'd have to, you know, get everything ready, prep everything, do all that all by myself, and then watch the girls on the floor and tell them their job to do and set the schedule. And but they only wanted to pay me $8 an hour because the minimum wage was like $7.20, or it was either $7.25 at that time or like $5 something at the time. I don't remember.
Was that your first job?
That was, no. My first job was working at a pet store. Super Pets. They're not around anymore. It was like a part-time job. It was in junior high. I only worked like 3 days a week. Stocking shelves. And they liked me for a while. And then I started like doing all the fish, like taking care of all, because they had like a whole aquarium section, and ended up doing that. Then they were closing down for good, so they just fired everybody. They're just like, yeah, today's your last day. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, we're closing down, but you have to work the rest of the day. I was like, if you're firing me today, I'm not gonna work the rest of the day, you know? Like, so I sat up front and talked to the cashier, because me and her went to school. It was Kristen Savino, she worked there. I went up there, bullshitting with her for a while. Then they brought me in the back room to yell at me. I told them, yeah, whatever. They were trying to fire me, actually. First, they tried to say that I left a can of cat food on the top shelf. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Put a can of food on the top shelf.
Yeah, because
this thing is fucking hot.
I told you that thing was gonna be hot. We're trying to do some extreme action sports or something.
Yeah, I don't know, I just like to present myself, I guess.
Oh yeah, so
I'm just seeing if I can do the entertainment industry.
oh man, I had it's been a weird week this week, you know.
Why?
Guy I work with, I think I told you this already. There was some guy went and killed 4 people. It was a quadruple homicide. There was a guy I worked with.
The guy you worked with?
One of the guys I worked with, yeah. So one of the ex-boyfriends came and just like came inside the house and just shot 4 of them. Shot his ex-girlfriend, her friend, and their 2 cousins. He's still running around somewhere off Sumter Road in Belleville over there. Yeah, it's crazy. One of the guys I worked with on Friday, or no, Saturday, which was yesterday, he came in and he was like real bummed out. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, man, one of my best friends, he used to work here, you know, got gunned down.
Jesus.
Shootout. I'm like, that's messed up, man. People are...
Can't even like have a rumble anymore. It just goes straight to murder.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, man. Like, it makes me think, like, did he just walk in and like, oh, well, all these guys can't watch this, so I'm just gonna shoot all these guys too? Like, well, what's going through someone's head when they're trying to murder someone, and then just like, oh, let's do 4 instead of 1, you know, like...
Is it worth it just to end somebody?
Right.
I mean...
He was real beat up about it. I felt bad for him.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I know some other people that knew him too. Because I seen it on Facebook, but it didn't tell you the names. And then when I went to work, I found out it was one of the guys we worked with. He was a big guy too. He was 6'2", probably 300 pounds. He wasn't no like scrawny dude, you know. He was just...
Is that the type that kills people?
No, that was the one that got shot.
Oh.
That was my old coworker, the guys that I worked with.
Damn.
Yeah. It's fucked up world, man.
So you've been like pretty close to death multiple times. You almost chopped your leg off. You've been exposed to dangerous chemicals in your eyeballs, and you got blown up once. So what happens when you die?
Well, that's one thing I don't ever want to find out, but
No?
it's not necessarily a scary thing for me, because it's like, I've done a lot of stupid shit, and did a front flip pretty much off of everything I've ever owned. Besides a car, never front flipped a car.
On a motorcycle?
Yeah, a dirt bike, mini bike. Oh, the mini bike was probably the funnest one. I was trying to go through the ditch and jump it, and the front tire caught the storm drain. You know how they got the drains in the middle of it? As soon as I hit that thing, it like, I tried to jump off, but the handlebars caught my knees, and I like flipped with it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. My dad was mad because the whole front forks were like inverted after that. And I couldn't get up. I thought I broke my leg because I couldn't get up because it like Charlie forced the hell out of my legs. So I just kind of laid there laughing. Everyone's like, oh my God, that was great. I was like, was it? I wasn't wearing a helmet either, so.
Of course not.
Yeah, and a jet ski one time. I jumped a jet ski and sank right into the wave. Flipped off of that.
Forward?
Yeah.
Damn.
That was fun.
I think we ran out of propane.
Yeah, I heard it go poof.
We're actually
It's out.
brewing beer,
Supposed to be.
drinking a brew, and then trying to have an INTERBREW.
I got a tank at my house. It's probably half full, at least. I might have to go grab that. Because those are the ones in there. You got 3 of them in there. I think those are all 3 of them are empty, too. Oh. What kind of malt we got again?
Pilsen.
Straight from Germany, huh?
Yep.
It's kind of a little moist. Yeah, I don't know if it's from the grass or what, but just the one side that was in the grass is a little wet. So this is our base malt here. Good old Pilsner malt. Give you a nice golden color.
Yeah, I guess there is some in here.
Yeah, I mean, we could just probably. Oh man, don't blow yourself up. But I mean, I guess we could probably start cracking this stuff, eh?
Sure.
What temperature are we at?
I brought my drill out here. 120 Fahrenheit.
I still got a while.
Why do you like beer?
I didn't like beer when I first started. I only drank liquor. I used to drink rum. I used to drink Captain and Cokes. That was always my thing. One, it was cheaper.
Damn, I'm sorry. Captain and Coke.
Yeah, I used to love spiced rum. It was cheaper to get, you know, like you didn't want to get, if you were underage and drinking, you didn't want to get caught, you know, so if you had a bunch of beers, you know, it'd be hard to hide all the cans.
Yeah.
You hear it every time you open it, you know.
Dude.
And then I just kind of got sick of it. And I tried different mixers, you know. I said maybe if I do it with Sprite instead of Coke, maybe if I do it with Dr. Pepper instead. Even tried Mountain Dew, which sounds nasty, but it's really not that bad. And then I just got sick of spiced rum, and I started doing like whiskey and stuff like that. But then I just started getting crazy, you know. You have a bunch of mixed drinks. The next thing you know, you want to go rip around on something or look for trouble, you know. And everyone, and then you always thought, you know, oh, my dad always drinks beer, and everyone else's dad, uncle, you know, they always drink beer, so maybe they're on to something.
Yeah, I never liked it at first either.
So yeah, I started drinking it because it was just cheap, and just kind of stuck with it. Then before this whole craft beer thing started, same thing. People were switching from Bud Light to Budweiser to Labatt, you know, stuff like that, which I kind of liked. I did kind of like Labatt. I liked the almost like a hop of bitterness to it, you know. And I remember the first one I had was stolen my dad's. It was a Dirty Blonde by Atwater. It's like a blonde ale.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, this ain't too bad. It tastes like a little bit more flavor than a Bud Light, you know. So then I started buying like I first liked light beers, then I started liking like Hefeweizens, which is like more of a pineapple-y, banana clovey kind of flavor. I love Hefeweizens because they were strong, but they didn't taste like real strong, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're just kind of floral. So then I started getting into like double IPAs and regular IPAs, and that was my jam for a while. And then came out with that New England style IPA. Started loving those because it was like pretty much like orange juice, you know?
Yeah.
And then recently started drinking these sours and stuff just because it's like, tried to hit every brewery in Michigan. Got down to like, did like 200 and something of them. So that was like a good pastime of it, you know. We'd drive across the state every weekend and.
Oh yeah, it was called $100 beer day.
Yep, that was
Holy
those days.
shit.
Then we kind of fell out of that. Got bored with it. Because then they came out with apps that could tell you, you know, people would rate this beer or this beer's here.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruined the whole surprise element of it, you know. There's times where we drive all 2.5 hours out of the way and place is only open for like another hour, you know.
My beer tasting professor, she hates Untapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she won't even talk about it.
Well, the thing is like, people can hype stuff up too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like Pokemon, except there's 10 million Pokemon.
Yeah.
You're trying to collect all of them, and you're not going to do it.
And especially now, everything's closed down, and craft beer industry kind of slowed down. It was going crazy for a while. and it's like not possible to open or to go visit them all now, really.
I did go to Atwater a couple months ago. They're doing it right. They, when you go to the bar to order a beer, you have to wear a mask, and when you sit down, you can take the mask off, and everything of that nature. No, way better than my company. I deliver a lot of boxes and kind of, I don't know, kind of make contact with a lot of fucking people, and like they reacted way too late, and it was a disaster. But
I gotta wear my mask all day, every day, no matter what, unless you're sitting down over 6 feet from somebody. Then you can take it off. But yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
you ever wear your mask while you're riding your motorcycle?
No, I wear a helmet. It'd probably start riding up, like falling down or riding up, and like see it as a possible safety concern. Because if it rides up, it starts blocking your vision, you know. I see people driving with them on though, all the time. Even the high-low guys drive. They drive with their mask on.
Huh. Do you think it's fake news? Do you think
I mean,
coronavirus is real?
It's definitely real. I know a couple people that, you know, were in good health and died from it.
Really?
Yeah, Sarah's aunt.
Holy
She
shit,
was
dude.
50-something years old, and all of a sudden, within like 24 hours, she just felt horrible. Went to the hospital, confirmed she had it. She was on a ventilator for like a week. She was in the hospital for a week. She started getting better, and then right before they were about to release her, she just passed away.
Fuck.
Out of nowhere.
Damn.
She didn't smoke or drink or nothing.
Dude, that's horrible.
Yeah.
My grandpa ended up having like congestive heart failure in Yuma, Arizona, and he was in the hospital, and nobody could even couldn't fucking see him.
Right.
Like, I mean, if somebody's battling something and can't even see your fucking family, like, what are you doing?
Oh, that one just went out too.
Jesus, Murphy.
Oh.
I don't know, man. I don't.
Kayla's grandma had it too. She was in a.
Really?
She was in a old folks home.
Oh, okay. You're Kayla.
Yeah. And what they did was they divided it. People that were infected were on this wing of the place. They weren't allowed to leave their room. They weren't allowed to go down to the cafeteria. They were pretty much confined in their room, not allowed to see anybody. And she was stuck with a roommate that had it too. And luckily, she got over it, but it was scary because she's like all pissed off. She's got like kind of dementia, so she's all mad. She's like, I can't wait to get the hell out of here, or like come over, and they're like, we can't come over. Like, it was hard to explain to her what was going on because she didn't like her roommate, and she was sick of being stuck in this room all day. You know, think about it. You're quarantined in one single room and you can't leave.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And you're stuck
weird.
with somebody that you don't get along with too, so now you're irritated. And then the only interaction you have is your nurse to come by and give you food, open the door, tell you to get to the wall, like in jail or something, you know, and then slide your tray in there, and that's it. They close the door. That's the only interaction you get.
Damn.
But she made it. I was happy. I was happy about that. No one that I knew in my family got it because they were still working through this whole thing and everything, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's weird, dude.
It was weird.
I remember it was March 16th. They started, well, you know, watching the news and, oh, they shut down basketball players, they get, you know, this coronavirus, and I'm like, alright, whatever. And then, like, the middle of March 16th, I was supposed to go into the school and brew a beer.
Yeah.
And they canceled it that day. And I showed up. Like, apparently I didn't get the email in time. They sent out the email like 2 hours before we were supposed to actually do it. And I was so bummed out. And then I finally realized, like, holy shit, this thing is real.
Yeah, I remember they told us, and my work's like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll shut down when we're forced to shut down by the state. So the 19th is when they told us all to get out of here.
Dude, it's also weird. I don't think, like, one person should just be able to order something and now it's a law. You know what I mean? It's very, like, I can't go to the gym. Like, give me a waiver to sign. Like, I want to fucking go to the gym, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It should all have been, like, discretion.
Where'd you light it from? Oh, that thing's like dead too, pretty much. Yes, sir, we are out of propane.
Dude, I'm kind of turned off from brewing beer anyway. You pissed me off earlier today.
Oh, I know, I can tell.
You're playing with my feelings.
How was that?
It's pretty good.
Did you
There's
drink
some
it all?
left here.
Oh, there's like nothing in there.
You want my COVID?
Yeah, give me some of that.
How's your hairline doing? It's like clear. I saw you pour it in.
Yeah. It's not bad. It is definitely lemony.
Is it a meadery? What is
hard
that?
cider.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go and grab my freaking propane then.
Yeah? Are we doing this? Are you invested?
We already got half of the work done. We were just waiting on temperature, really. Can you pause your GoPro or no?
Yeah. You just stop the recording. Are you running over there?
Yeah, man.
Alright. Stay tuned.
There we go. I got another propane tank too. That one should be enough. There's at least more than half in there.
You have another one other than that?
Oh yeah.
We gotta load up on propane, dude. There's 3 tanks right there and they're all fucking empty.
I know. I think one of them was mine too.
I don't even have a propane grill.
That's crazy.
So
It's
what?
21st century. I've got a propane grill.
Yeah.
I'm charcoal.
Yeah, I'm fucking old school. You know how I leave voicemails. So what's it like to be best friends with a genius super athlete?
It's interesting, to say the least. I think he's more of a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I got dusty from carrying this freaking bag of malt.
Really?
Yeah, look at this stuff.
That means it's good. It's excreting all sorts of
Plant materials.
yeah. That's how I like it. Did you hear that song, Wet Ass Pussy?
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't even know about it. People kept talking about it.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I'm like, well, okay, I'm just gonna type it into YouTube,
dude,
and it just pops right up.
I didn't know what it was. I Google searched it. I'm like, WAP, what the fuck is this? And
Yeah,
then I
right.
went to Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary says it's with a passion. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Honestly, I didn't even know that's what it stood for, but now that you said that, it makes sense, because she says that like 100 fucking times.
Last night I was talking to this chick and she said that it's empowering for women. And then I asked her, I'm like, so how is it empowering? Like, what is going on here? She said something about like men get to talk about, fucking women and graphic language and things of that nature, and I'm like, well, all right. What about Missy Elliott? Like Salt and Pepper, like they've been doing this.
Right. There's a lot of songs that were
curious.
really dirty that were, by women.
Yeah, but dude, everybody's a freak. Like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just thought, like, I mean, that's her whole idea. I never really cared for her as a rapper, anyways. Honestly.
Cardi B.
Yeah.
I never listened to her. I honestly only heard like 1 minute of the song last night. I loved it, but
I watched the whole thing just because I was like, okay, the lyrics are, not safe for work, and she's pretty much wearing lingerie, and everyone else is wearing lingerie. I'm just like,
I love Cardi B.
I didn't get it. I'm just like,
seriously,
okay.
I'm like, she was on the show. It was kind of like American Idol, but for gangster rap.
Yeah.
Dude, it was on Netflix. I forgot what it was called. It's a fantastic show, but dude, they pulled together the most extensive like all-star rappers to come and judge these people. They had Big Boy, Twista, Snoop came on there, like it was amazing. But Cardi B on the show, she was one of the main judges. She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
she's such a goof.
I mean,
she's out of her gourd. She gets into these weird voices, like talk just out of nowhere, and she's fucking hilarious.
I seen her on Jimmy Fallon, I think it was, and like the same thing you said. She's kind of goofy, said weird stuff, but just her voice kind of.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And I just think she's like not a very good role model for people. Like, I don't know. To each their own. I'm not.
Maybe
I'm kind of fell out of rap a long time ago.
Do you think that's her name?
I highly doubt that's her name.
But, like, I don't know. On the show, you see like flashes. Like, I wonder if she's just being Cardi B. Like, she's just making money. She's being. I don't know.
I mean, she was doing
Maybe
all
she's
those
a
noises and stuff, and I'm just like, is that just like her playing around, or is she serious? I don't. It was hard to gauge her as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from what I hear from other people, she's a great person. And she's funny. And everything like that.
I think she's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I did get her goofy sense of humor, but I was just like, couldn't tell. You know what I mean? You know how like when someone pulls it off way too well, you're like, are they just messing with people, or are they serious, or are they just genuinely just?
I kind of do that.
I mean, I'm the same way. Half the time, people don't know if I'm serious or if I'm joking. And it gets people frustrated sometimes because
you know what's really frustrating?
It's half and half for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's really frustrating is like people that are funny with a sense of humor. They don't laugh at jokes if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Some shit was hilarious, but they just fucking stone face. I don't know how to do that. Like, I goof off constantly, but I also laugh.
My problem is I usually overthink it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take it for what context it's in. I'm just kind of like, well, if they're joking about this, maybe that means this too. You know what I mean? I overthink it. So then it's like, some people are just like fucking dying over there, and I'm just shrugging my shoulders. Like, yeah.
some of the shit goes right over my head.
Yeah, sometimes
I'm
that
just
too.
like, what? I'm a little slow too.
It's funny when you talk to people with like different mindsets. Like I love talking to my friends and throwing around concepts because it's like, you know, we got our friend Mikey. He's a computer whiz.
Yeah, I gotta get Mikey.
He's a computer whiz, so he thinks of things in in digital,
ones and zeros.
Yeah, in a digital thing.
Oh shit, that's not good.
But he thinks of things as in like a business form and digitally and whatnot.
Right.
Me, I like messing with stuff and working on things, so I think of stuff mechanically, like, well, if they built it this way, there's ways to do it. It's also like my job title is to be building stuff and shit, so it's like, I don't know. Yeah, think about it in a couple different contexts.
No, I do. Like, when somebody says something, I'm a little slow on the response because I'm just like,
the gears are moving.
I'm calculating. Yeah. You can tell when I'm fucking,
you're like
deep.
Yeah, you start getting in there thinking like, uh-oh, what's it gonna be?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fucking hilarious, and sometimes it's just like, I don't know where that came from.
Dude, one of my favorite jokes, well, talking about like not laughing or not serious, but
yeah,
like lying too. Some people, like, I've convinced myself that something happened to you. It was a prank. You borrowed my car and then left it at a friend's house and went somewhere else in my truck, and
didn't we actually do that though?
I went over there. I'm like, I don't know why. I just decided, oh, I'm not playing that shit. Like that pissed me off. You should tell me is, leave it at a friend's house. And then I went over there, picked up my truck, and then you thought somebody stole it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I knew there was some. I forgot what that story was.
And you called me, and you're like, Brendan.
I was freaking out.
Brendan,
someone stole his truck.
You're like, just the tone of voice. You're like, Brendan, did you get your truck? Did you pick up your truck? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, what's going on? And I lied pretty well.
Oh yeah, you sold me, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like looking up on the internet, like if someone else steals a car that you borrowed. Well, I was trying to see if my insurance would what would happen, I'm like, oh man, does he need to make a claim? But he wasn't driving it, so do I need to make a claim? I'm all freaking out, like scouring the internet, like how to figure it out.
I have to call the cops, and like I stopped you from doing that.
I'm surprised
for
I
a
didn't
couple hours.
Oh, you got me, man. I was like, oh fuck, dude, like, and I felt so bad too. I was like, man, that sucks. Yeah, no, it was because I think I drove over someone's house and we started drinking and we were going somewhere, so I left your truck there or something. I don't know. This is a while ago. I can't remember what the whole scenario was.
But
yeah, you got me pretty good on that one, for sure.
If I try, I can convince
mad.
myself of shit, but I don't though.
I seen you later that day, and I was like, I just want to punch you in the face out. Oh, like, you got me so good that I was pissed. That I was like, damn, like, because I was so like genuinely concerned that I was like, all right, now. Even though you told me and I figured it out, I was still mad.
It was several hours. Yeah.
Oh, you had me going for a minute. I think I even called my uncle, and I think I called a impound lot too. Because I parked it like over the sidewalk, so I was like, well, maybe something happened. I don't know. So lately, my neighbor, she's like mad at me.
Really?
Because
she's so sweet.
I know, but she has like back problems, so she's on like muscle relaxers.
Oh boy.
So she's always like little, like she will talk to you for hours, and not remember the conversation the next day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. So it's like she's worried about my tree in my front yard because every time it kind of gets windy out, sticks fall. And she's like, oh, I want to trim your tree out front, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be trimmed. Like,
Oh, really?
like there's nothing wrong with it. She's like, well, if it falls on my car, and I was like, it's a 100-year-old tree. It's not gonna fall on your car. It's still alive,
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, if I rent a cherry picker, will you go half and half
What?
on cutting it down? And I was like, you're like 7 years old. There's no reason you need to be in a cherry picker 50 feet up in the air cutting down limbs of a tree. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be doing that. And she's like, oh, well, she's retired, so she's got nothing else to do. And I was like, well, you have to talk to the landlord. Like, this isn't my house. I'm not just going to have, if you drop a tree on my house, what am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
And she's like, well, call your landlord. I was like, I'll put in for it. Like, I'll email them and see what they say, like the property management company. But I have some serious work that needs to be done. Like, one of my pipes that needs to be replaced under my house, and they've been dodging me for a month. They won't take care of it. So I highly doubt that he's gonna, voluntarily rent a cherry picker for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she got like shitty with me.
Really?
She was like, well, why don't you just go half and half? And I was like, lady, I got a lot of stuff going on. Like, this past month has been really hard. You know what I mean? Like, I've been dealing with a lot of shit. Got in a car accident, my dog passed away, all kinds of stuff just been crazy this month. Well, this past month and a half so far. So she comes with me, and I got an attitude with her, so now I had the city knock on my door the other day.
Really?
On Saturday, yeah. Code enforcement, city knocks on my door. And I look at him, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I need to get in your backyard. I was like, okay, well, the gate's open because I plan on riding my motorcycle to work, so the gate was already open,
Mm-hmm.
He goes, no, you need to come back there with me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I threw some shoes on, and he goes, yeah, someone called on you. And he kind of like, and I was like, really? For what? He said, oh, you got a bunch of stuff in your backyard.
What?
I literally cut the grass 2 days ago.
For a bunch of stuff? You can do that?
Yeah, that's what he said. And I go, really? And he kind of like looks and like nudges to the night lady next door,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, because he was a younger guy. He was probably like mid-20s. And he goes, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I don't see anything wrong with anything back here. It's taken care of. He's like, but something has to be done. And I was like, okay.
Something has to be done?
Yeah, something has to be done.
Mean?
And I'm like, okay. Well, my neighbors, you probably can't see this from here, have a fence like yours. You know how there's like vines growing in between your fence?
Yeah.
He's like, if you work with me, I'll work with you. Just take care of those vines, and I'll come back next week. So I'm like, well, that is poison ivy,
Right.
And yeah, that was just the other day. All because I told my neighbor I wasn't going to give her money for something that doesn't need to be done.
So she could go up on a cherry picker.
Yeah. And drop tree limbs on my house. That's on, and this tree is totally on my property, Like,
Right.
And they're dropping it everywhere. Oh boy, look at that.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun talking to that guy, Officer Cody. We're
Dude,
cool now.
I got a fucking... Here, let me try this out.
Oh, you're actually gonna use the...
Yeah, we're gonna evolve.
Oh boy.
Dude, they fucking told me I had overgrowth across my... Left a fucking sticker on my door.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We gotta think about it. They're not really making much money because everything's closed down. So they were going by and writing people writing everybody like tall grass violations, even though their grass was only this tall. You know what I mean?
What?
Oh yeah.
That's tall as fuck.
There was like 5 people down my street that all got slapped with like I noticed it. I was like, why is this Grand Marquis sitting in front of my neighbor's house with like had the Michigan sticker? You know how it has like the Michigan flag on it? That's what he was driving. It's like an old 90s Grand Marquis. I'll hold that just so I don't. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's go full blast for a second. Yeah, so that happened to me this week. It's always something, man. Every week something stupid's gotta happen.
Well,
I don't understand.
the future is vast, Jeff. So many more things can happen.
Oh!
Like,
Sorry, I lifted up and just started tumbling.
I wonder how loud this is.
It's moving pretty fast. We're at boiling right now. We're at 190. Should I cut it down a little bit?
Yeah, you can probably kill it.
I mean, I just thought about it. We don't have a scale to discount it for this stuff either. Alright, we'll hold this thing.
We'll just fill it up. Like, we know how to brew.
Well,
We'll just fucking do an
it
experiment.
has the gallon thing on the side.
Oh yeah, dude. This beer too is gonna be the Kruger Kvik. Because we lost Kruger and he was a good boy.
Yeah, he had lymphoma. But they say that's not what killed him though.
Really?
Yeah, he was fine. Came back from a treatment. Or no, it was every week or a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks. He'd go for a treatment, you know, and with cancer, they give you IV of some kind of chemical to kind of combat it, you know.
Right.
So they need to find 3 good chemicals that your body fights the cancer with, you know. Well, we found 2. We were exploring the 3rd option, and it wasn't that great. Like, his body actually liked that chemical and made it worse.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he was in remission the second time, his second treatment, you know. And then 3rd time, they're like, okay, we gotta find another chemical. That one didn't work. But then it was like a day before he was gonna go back to get another treatment. All of a sudden, he threw up blood out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh crap, you know, what's going on? Like, I put some in like a small jar, so I was like, okay, he's going to the doctor tomorrow, you know, maybe they can tell me what's going on. And my girlfriend starts freaking out, you know, she's losing it, crying, he's dying, and I'm like, no, he's fine. So she starts looking on the internet, and she reads, you know, just nothing but bad news. And I was optimistic about it, you know. Then he started acting like he was drunk, like he was like all loopy and stuff, and I was like, ooh, that's not a good sign, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he farted, and it was like all blood, and it just smelled terrible. And I was like, yeah, he really is dying.
That's rough, dude.
So I sat there with him, you know, petted him, and kind of kept him comfort, you know, till the last breath and whatnot. And, it was sad, but I mean, nothing we could do. By the time we would have got him to the hospital, same thing would have happened. You know what I mean? 'Cause this was like 2:30 in the morning. That was late at night. Yeah, he was a good dog, but I told one of my friends about it, and I showed him a picture because I took a picture of the blood, you know, when he first drew it up. And she goes, "That looks like almost like a cyst, like inside his stomach. Like he probably had like almost like an ulcer." There was a name for it. She used some medical term, and I didn't remember what it's called. But she said sometimes they'll get like an ulcer and they'll get infected and it'll fill up with blood, and then eventually when that bursts, you know, it has to go somewhere, either through the esophagus or through the intestines and stuff.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. That was a shitty experience. I mean, one of the best dogs I ever had.
You kind of like adopted them.
Yeah, that's how I get most of my animals.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't paid for an animal
I think your
long time.
your woman's brother had them, and then he just ended up over at your house somehow.
They were moving. We were supposed to watch them, and then he just never went back with them. So I had him for, I think 4 years maybe. I don't remember. I don't know exactly.
Really?
Yeah, I had him for a while.
Damn. That's it?
Yeah, he was 7.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, nothing you can really do about it, you know. It's just kind of things in life. They start and they end, and that's unfortunate with dogs. Is they don't live long enough, you know. Everyone gets so attached to them, and then, you know, 10 years down the line, he's your best friend and everything, and it starts falling apart, you know. Unfortunately, that's just how it is with animals.
So why did you go to Tanzania?
I didn't want you to die, man. And I was afraid, but I was ready to accept the challenge. I was really on the fence. Really on the fence. Every day my ideas changed. One day I'd be like, all right, dude, I'm gonna do this. This is once in a lifetime, you know.
You had a different excuse every day.
Every day, and the next day I'd be like, man, I can't go there. There's this going on there, and there's no government, and
There's a piece of corn.
yeah, I was about to say, was that a piece of corn? Yeah, there's a piece of corn in there. That's weird. Out of all that, I've never seen that before. I was terrified.
It's German malt, premium. Says it right on the bag.
Yeah, so premium they mix corn, they drop corn in there somehow.
Dude, I
was terrified.
I know.
And then every time I talked to you, you usually gave me something more terrifying, like, oh yeah, you know you can die from altitude sickness. And I was like, I heard that, but is that true? So then I started looking up it, and then all of a sudden I find all these blood-borne diseases you can get from altitude. I'm like, oh no.
It was like a year, because when we were in Hocking Hills for your birthday, I think
which was awesome. That was one of my fucking favorite birthdays I've ever had.
I came to you, and I'm like, dude, I'm sick of fucking talking about stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be about it. Like, I haven't done shit with my life. I want to go do something. And I'm like, I want to go climb Mount Everest eventually. And I'm like, dude, that's just happening. And I realized how much it costs.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, I can't believe it, man. And most people don't even make it, you know.
Oh, right. And then you just said, I don't know, I'm thinking about Mount Kilimanjaro. And it was your idea. And
yeah,
I'm like, Mount Kilimanjaro. Fucking Africa.
Yeah.
Like, I love, you know.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, dude.
And you're like, oh man, I'm not in shape. I'm like, dude, this is like a year.
I
Like,
had dreams about it.
We're like 100 days away from doing this, and you're like, if I would have trained, if I would have did this,
every excuse
and I'm like,
I could think of. Oh yeah.
Eventually, I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna fucking go without you.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of knocked it loose.
Me. Yeah, that definitely kind of pushed me more into going. Cause I was like afraid, cause it's like I've been to like Mexico and stuff.
Yeah.
But in Mexico, you know, it's different, but not much. You know what I mean? Like, it's third world country. Don't get me wrong, but you still have like internet on resorts and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I don't understand the term third world country.
Well, it's just they're not dependent on, you know, industry and stuff like that. They're more about agriculture, and not everywhere you go has electricity. Not everywhere you go has running water. Not everywhere you go has a car. No one has cars.
Just the lack of infrastructure.
Yeah, there's not huge skyscrapers. There's not boats coming in with, you know, cargo ships on them and stuff. You know, it's just.
Well, I've never actually been to Mexico, but right now, from shit I hear, Mexico sketched me out more than Africa.
Yeah, well, you just gotta worry about the cartel. Really is real down there.
Oh yeah.
So once you go off the resorts and stuff like that, you definitely see how poor they are. You know what I mean? Like,
but then again, you know,
thing's almost full. You know,
I've never left North America. I went to Canada a couple times, and
Canada's I'm like that's just Americans with funny accents over there. You know?
Absolutely, except they don't have freedom of speech. But and I'm just thinking in my head, like, I'm gonna go to the next continent over and climb the tallest mountain. Like, I'm just kind of waiting. I don't know. I just have this fantasy of, like, I'm just gonna get off the plane and there's gonna be guards with machine guns and they're just gonna lock me up.
You're like, we're not allowed over there.
I mean, just for anything, like whatever. Like that's kind of. And yeah, when we went, it was fucking. Everybody was amazing.
Yeah, super nice people.
Fantastic. I loved it. I want to live there. But like, as soon as we got off the plane, you have to talk to the guard to get a visa.
Yeah.
And I practiced Swahili, and I'm all like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna say what's up to this guy. And the first person I talked to from Tanzania, I'm like, habari, and he's like, then he says something, hubba, 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 and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't really actually speak. I only know 4 words.
Right. It was a hard language to learn. I tried as well, but I didn't try very hard because I just didn't understand it. You know, like
habari nagione.
Yeah, like I knew that. From what I read, they used a lot of slang of like different languages there.
I didn't know hello was mambo or jambo. I did not know that. I was from you know, the language apps. It was habari.
Yeah.
But then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That all of a sudden it turns into kind of like a slang or an easier term or something. So that's why they were just saying jambo, which I can't remember. They said that mambo is like.
For like an elder,
for like elderly
yeah.
Either woman, and that was the weird thing too. Is like in other countries, most of their languages are there's a different way you say it speaking to a woman and a different way you say it speaking to a man. You know.
Really?
Supposedly, like the I don't know, but I just didn't. The vowels were messed up and stuff. Like, you know, it'd be like an A-E-O or something weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what this is.
Dude, my favorite moment, I think we were on our way back from hiking the waterfall.
I should have just put it on low instead of off, because now it's already at like.
So we kind of go off into the
84.
jungle. We kind of go off into the jungle, and then we start walking, look at the waterfall, and we start walking back. And
which I thought it was only gonna be like a 15-minute hike. It was like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
In the jungle.
It was fucking awesome. I couldn't believe it. But on the way back, like, we were walking.
It started raining.
And then on this ridge,
man.
this little kid, I'm sure he lived there. This little kid was just standing there looking at us like this, and like, I'm sure most of the people have never seen a white guy before, or like.
Oh, you could tell.
But
they would just like full 180.
But I
walk by.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, who are these guys?
Was socially awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
But and then the kid's looking at me, and then I look at him, and I'm like, Jumbo, and he's like, Jumbo, and it was it was fucking the greatest moment ever.
What about, you were right behind me when I almost fell off that fucking, that ravine. Dude.
I have it on tape somewhere.
That was scary as hell, man. It was all muddy. And we drank the whole entire time. Those people can freaking drink, man. There's bars in the middle of the woods. You know what I mean? Like, I was not ready for that.
Me neither.
They're just like,
yeah, our guy.
come up to the wood shack. We got water and beer.
Moses, he was showing us around, and we're like, hey, man, I don't even know if we asked him anything. We said, hey, where can we get a beer around here?
We're literally like a joke too.
We're literally walking a trail in the middle of a jungle, and there's
little villages.
And and he's like, oh, hold on 1 second. He walks to one of the huts, and comes back with cold fucking
here you
beer.
go. We're like,
whoa,
nice.
That was fun.
And then it starts pouring rain. And we're like, what are we gonna do? You know, and then he just goes over, hacks this huge leaf off. Like this big old plant, and was like, here you go. So we all had these huge vines over our head, and the rain's just pouring down. Couldn't see where I was even going at one point. And
dude, it was, I don't know.
I was like, Brendan, look at it, look how scary that is. That's like 100-foot drop.
Yeah.
I stop, I look, and I go, damn, that's crazy. I'd probably take 5 more steps, and I just slip.
And there's mud and everything.
And there's 1 foot hanging off the edge, and I grab onto the thing. I'm like, oh, my heart stopped, dude. I thought I was dead, man. I was like,
you were in front of me, and I tried to jump and grab you, but I don't think I would have made it.
I was like, if I would have went off that edge, dude, I don't even know, like, you guys would have had to like lug me over your shoulder, and I would have
dude, you can't get anything back there.
Exactly, like there was no getting a vehicle back there or a motorcycle or nothing. Like, it was straight forestry.
Maybe a motorcycle,
but it was freaking raining. Like, there's no way
you
would have got a motorcycle back there when the mud was like that.
Dude, it was, I don't know, man, just being when we first landed. It was nighttime.
That was the first time I actually walked onto a tarmac.
Oh yeah, me too.
Airport.
Yeah.
There was one plane in and out. That's
pretty much. Yeah.
Like, they load up, they spin that plane around, and they fly that same plane right out.
Back to Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
It's like they stop at Kilimanjaro and they go to Dar.
Yeah, because that was only like 45-minute flight from Tanzania to Dar.
You mean
like
Kilimanjaro to Dar?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I first got off the plane, I was just like,
that humidity too.
And I'm just like, wow, like this. It smelled like ancient.
Yeah.
Like I was in an ancient place. Like I couldn't describe it.
It reminded me of when I was like 17 years old. I took a plane to Florida to meet my parents because they were on vacation and I couldn't get the days off. So they're just like, oh yeah, just fly by yourself. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I go there, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, because it was well, I've flown before, but usually I just followed my parents around, you know, wherever they went, did whatever they did. So when I went by myself, I kind of went up to like every counter and was like, so what do I do? And they're just like, oh, do you have a ticket? I'm like, yeah. They're like, see that number on the ticket? Go to that gate. I'm like, okay. So like, I didn't want to fool around. I just went straight to that gate and I sat there. And they took my luggage for me too, so I didn't have to worry about that. But when I landed the plane in Florida, and it was in Orlando, and that heat, as soon as they open the plane, just hits you, you know, and you're like, wow, it's actually over 80 degrees right now, you know.
Right.
I mean, back then in those summers, it didn't seem like, you know, like 20 years ago, it didn't seem like our summers were really that hot.
No, I remember, yeah, when I was a child, in the summertime, it was hot as fuck.
But like, when you're a kid, 90 degrees didn't feel like 90 degrees. You're just like, oh, it's just hot out. It's not that hot. You know what I mean? You'd still ride your bike or go do whatever you had to do. Temperature didn't stop you from doing what you wanted.
No, absolutely not.
You know what I mean?
It was party time. When you're a kid, you're gonna stay out until it's dark.
Yeah.
Until the streetlights come on.
But now you're like, oh, it's gonna be 90 today. I better run at like 6 in the morning before it gets hot.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I need to get all this stuff done before noon. 'Cause
Mow the
at
lawn.
noon, it's gonna be hot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like nowadays when you're older, you got responsibilities and you have stuff you have to do. You know.
It was.
So you plan ahead. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I either do this in the morning, first thing in the morning, when I wake up, or I wait till it cools off, the sun starts going down, and then I'll do that. But
I don't know. Like, I'm in it. Like, I don't even think about it. It's just like, oh, I'm going to work, whatever. I don't even look. I'm like, do I need a cooler or not? And I don't know. Maybe it's a mind fuck. I don't consider the temperature.
well, for outdoor stuff, I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's 90 degrees today, and if I have the day off, I'm like, I want to do something outdoors because that's what I love to do. But it's like, don't really want to ride the bike because there's no wind, or it's too windy, either or. If I kayak, I think today would be a good kayak day. You know what I mean? You know, you think about it, you're just like,
Dude,
I got that idea. Okay, that sounds
Dude.
like a better idea.
what do you think in really windy places? Do you think they do kiteboarding? Do you think that's been done already?
You know, I'll tell you how I found kiteboarding. alright?
You did?
I-
It's a real thing?
It is a real thing, and this is how I found it. Okay, you remember back in the day, they used to have like book fairs and scholastic stuff at school.
Yeah.
And you'd sign up for like, if you sold all these magazine subscriptions, you'd get this much money off like a field trip or something. So I was like, Dad, please can you order me these skateboarding magazines? Because you know we were all me, you,
The
all of
CCS
us.
or-
No, it said, I thought it said skateboarding, but there was a sticker or something over the pamphlet that I filled out. It actually said kiteboarding.
Really?
And I didn't know it because I just seen the tiny picture, and there was a picture of a guy like this on it, you know, like they were doing an interview on the guy or whatever. So I ordered 12 magazines, and the first magazine I guess says kiteboarding. I go, what the hell is this? What is kiteboarding? What is that? Come to find out, it's like really popular down south in like Florida and stuff like that. It's like a surfboard, and you have like this parasail kind of thing.
Oh.
So you get out there on the
Yeah.
ocean and you fling the sail up and you go, dude, you
Dude,
can
what-
go flying.
Do you strap into wakeboards? Is that what?
I don't know if, I can't, it
'Cause
was so
you-
long
when
ago,
you're
I don't
jumping-
remember if you were, I'm pretty sure you were strapped in because you do, you
If you did
can
lift
lift
Dude,
off.
I'm thinking about like a skateboard kiteboard. Do you think
That's even more sketchier
Do you
because
think
like
that's
you need
possible?
that long board to kind of keep you down. You know, if you don't have enough weight on
if you
you.
had like 60-mile-an-hour winds?
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
you
saying.
launched that bitch, dude.
I remember back when YouTube was like first thing YouTube ever was like, it was all kind of fails and like funny stuff. You know what I mean? And one of them was like the kiteboarding guy thing. It was like a storm came in and this guy went flying over a house in like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm like, oh my god, like I think this guy is gonna get like really messed up. And then you only see like 10 seconds of it, so it just goes to the next clip. I never found out
What
if
happened?
like he really got hurt, but like I imagine it was not good, you know what I mean? But yeah, kiteboarding, and I've seen people do it on Lake Michigan actually. I don't know, I seen it happen on Lake Superior once. Guy was out there, way out there too. He was far out there. He was probably like, I could just see him, and he wasn't going fast. He was just kind of surfing down Lake Superior, all nicely.
Just tighten it up.
Yeah, just hanging out, having the wind pull him.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, bro.
Yeah, there was a diagram of it, and I don't remember how that thing went. But yeah, that's something like, I feel like you would have to have someone tandem to do that knows what they're doing to kind of show you how to do that, because it's like,
The kiteboarding?
because I feel like it'd be kind of like wakeboarding, you know, the wind blows, you pull the sail, and you gotta get over the water. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the hardest part of the whole thing is, you know, getting out of the water onto the board. But maybe if you could get like a knee board and do it, I think that'd probably be the easiest.
A knee board? What the fuck is that?
You never seen a knee board?
No.
It's like a surfboard, but it has a section for you to kneel on, and it's got like little rubber piece. Like sometimes there's a mold of where your knees go. Like you sit on it, like say this is the board, and the section.
I'm getting a phone call.
The section is only like, and then you sit on it like this.
5787119.
So this is how you sit on a knee board, and then it's just like a surfboard.
Oh.
You just kneel on it. Yeah. I remember we found one in the trash one time, and we had my buddy.
Oh, it was Kayla.
Yeah, she just called me too. She must really want to talk to one of us. Forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, me too. I guess I'm a Yeti guy now. Actually, I got some booch too. I'm gonna get some booch.
What kind is that one?
Raspberry lemon ginger.
Oh, I almost got that one too. That's funny that we each bought the same brand of kombucha today. Which is like, I'm not endorsed by Kroger or getting paid to say anything, but their stuff is good. You know what I mean? Like I started drinking like these sparkling ice waters.
Dude.
And I tried the Kroger sparkling water, and it was legit. I liked it. This whole seltzer thing just came and just messed the whole beer game up. You know, it just took over, and now everyone's like tonic, seltzer.
It's kind of weird.
And I never liked that stuff. I never liked flavored water.
I mean,
I never liked seltzer water. I never liked soda water, sparkling water, none of that. But then it's like, I think I got so sick of the regular beer I was just always drinking, and the regular, because I tried to do the whole no sugar thing, you know. So I don't drink coffee, don't drink Monster, I don't drink pop.
coffee doesn't have sugar in it.
Yeah, but some people, when I used to drink coffee, it was 2 creams, 1 sugar. You know, it wasn't really coffee. It was just creamer and sugar, you know.
Yeah.
And then eventually I did start drinking just black coffee, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut all that stuff out of my diet. It's not good for you, you know.
I love black coffee.
So then I started drinking these seltzers, and it's funny because you're probably the only one that I knew that drank like LaCroix. You know, they're kind of like carbonated waters, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And everyone made fun of me for it. They're just like, oh, you're drinking girl beer. That's not real beer. Blah, blah, blah. You know, they always had something to say. And now look at us. A year later, everyone's drinking them. Everyone else loves them, buys them.
I think it's just
because it's healthy. You know, it's
it's
better for you.
Like,
you know.
I mean, I forgot how I got into craft beer, but ever since I was 21, I would get like Dragon's Milk. I'd be like, I'm gonna try this shit. I'm gonna see what this is all about.
Yeah.
And there was like a Gildan Drock that was available.
I remember that. You used to, every weekend, you would bring a thing of Dragon's Milk. And we're just like, Jesus, Brendan, that's I forget how strong it is.
And then
12% or something like that.
And then I think when we started hanging out with Joe, like, we actually went to breweries. And that was when I was like, whoa, like this is a thing.
A
like
whole new world.
This is a world.
Yeah,
this is a culture.
Yeah, right.
And then,
Absolutely.
like, I like the Saison with the little,
yeah,
you know.
You start getting all these flavors and you're like, and you end up like, I don't know if I like this. Because I remember that before this whole sour beer thing started, like you said, there's Saisons, which are like weird, like farmhouses, got like, I still don't understand what Saison and farmhouses really are, because like I've had so many different ones that it's hard to, it's like a very wide spectrum of beer.
Yeah.
And it can be like sour, or it can be like made from organic stuff, you know.
When I was really young, like
weird.
I was telling this guy I worked with, like, I don't really like country music. He was a black guy, and he was just like, well, you just haven't heard the right songs. And I'm like, But then I take that with craft beer. Like, somebody just doesn't even like beer at all. It's like, well, there's something.
You'll find something. Yeah. You might not
Of
love it.
Alcohol's a problem, too. Like, I mean, Heineken 00, it's fucking, seriously, delicious. People that don't like alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It has that taste to it, almost like a chemical taste to it. Like it's literally a chemical reaction.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like with liquor too. Oh, I don't drink liquor because they either make bad decisions or it tastes like shit or both.
Alcohol will cause cancer.
That too. A lot of health problems. And
it penetrates your cells and disrupts them, and your liver turns it. I think it's like acetaldehyde. So alcohol is actually not bad for you, but your liver converts it into a different chemical, and then it's bad for you. Yeah. So your liver's bad.
That, and especially with people that have addictive personality, like I have that. I have addictive personality, and when I get stuck in things, sometimes it's just like it sucks you in. You're like, oh, I gotta do all of this, or oh, I need more, and there's no barrier to it. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, I'm only gonna have 2 beers. 2 beers turns into too many beers, and then too late of a night. Next thing you know, you're slamming freaking beers, and sun's coming up, and you're like, I'm gonna be useless tomorrow. Maybe I should go to bed. I'll have 1 more, and it's just, it's a slippery slope. You end up catching yourself down.
I fell asleep in my own backyard in the middle of a party, like fucking ton of times.
That's like your signature move, though.
I know. Now I don't do shit. Now I have 2 friends, 1 correspondent, and I don't know, maybe it's best friends. I have a lot of friends.
Like, I mean, I don't really talk to. I'm terrible at answering my phone or really like making plans. I'm really bad at making plans. I live everything by spur of the moment, kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't know you guys were going to this place or doing that. You should have let me know. I was like, I didn't even know 25 minutes ago. So,
dude,
I
don't know. I think you kind of taking the role as the yes man, and like everybody calls Jeff. Jeff's in the middle of everything. Like
it's always something, man.
Like, oh wait, you didn't tell me that. Fucking thanks, Jeff.
Well, I'm really bad at relaying information too.
Oh yeah.
They could just be like, hey, you want to go do this, and not give me anything else to go on. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. And it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it's like I literally have to ask Kayla sometimes, like, what we got going on this weekend again? I don't remember. I mean, I know a couple things that are going on that we could do, but I don't know what and who I said yes to first. You know what I mean? So sometimes you get these weekends where I'm supposed to be at 3 different places at the same time. And I sit there and I go, man, I wish I could just like, this portion of myself is going here, here, and here. So my brain will be here, my body will be here, and spirit I'll be there.
Whoa.
That's
kind of weird.
And I'd be like, I wish I could do that. And then at the end of the day, recollect and just kind of be like, oh yeah, it was a great day.
Oh, what'd you do today? What'd you do today?
Have like a conversation from yourself, like it'd be so. And then I was like, oh, if that was possible, I would try it. I'd be like, yeah, let's.
Are you gonna get the Neuralink?
Check it out. I don't know, because
Elon Musk.
I watched a couple different things about it.
I saw him on Joe Rogan, and that was about it.
I watched the video of it, because they came out with that like a couple years ago.
Really?
And they just released like a new press conference about it this year, and I see like some good ideas and bad ideas. You know what I mean? I see from a medical perspective, it's great. Yeah, they can try and help a lot of people, but in the wrong hands, that could be like not good.
Yeah.
And then the long term as well. Like it's physical piece of something, and that's not how well does that do over time in your body. What if your body rejects it? You know, what if you end up in a car accident and one of those little things break off in your head?
Oh yeah.
And cause like damage. Are you responsible? I mean, you probably got like a half hour.
I don't know. It says I only have 4%. So no, there's like an hour and a half on there.
Oh really?
Dude, so I think it's working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the GoPro is full. I need to spend several $100s on a new SD card. How's my hair look, dude? It's going back.
Oh, I didn't know you were using your phone.
It's going back.
You're talking to yourself. Yeah, you're just like me. Now we're like 30. Now we're middle age, and we got receding hairlines.
I bought this Jamaican castor oil, and I've been throwing that on there to see what happens. But I'm really just growing my hair long because this is it.
This is it.
That's it, dude. I'm gonna have
all
to
she wrote.
Shave it completely, or Hulk Hogan. It's a great song though. We just listened to Wet Ass Pussy. Tremendous. Beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah, it was great. It was rap music nowadays is so awesome. I want to take a video of you taking a video of me taking a video.
All right.
So yeah, this was supposed to be what we call an INTERBREW. Interview, brewing a beer, drinking a brew, and we've killed a GoPro twice. And now we got the phone going. Cheers.
Masha Marev.
Speaking your Swahili. I forgot that one actually.
Uno ongea gingereza.
What was
Do you speak English?
What was Masha Marev? That was live long. What was that?
Yeah, healthy life. Or
live. Yeah, I forget what that one meant.
Yeah, it's cheers for sure.
I think I might have wrote it down actually in my notes.
Dude, I fucking love Africa. My friend, she's been to Sierra Leone to study chimps, and
Really?
then she went to Kenya and Tanzania.
That's what it is. Long life.
Yep.
Long life.
Long life. Masha Marev. Or, that's what I believe. That's how you say it.
Yeah, like I told you, I was watching that Joe Rogan with Bobby Lee, a crazy artist, and anytime he thinks he needs to get away from life, and just get away from everything, he goes to Africa. It's like, I mean, you think about it, you're rich over there. Everybody's so nice. The only thing that sucks is you literally live life unplugged. Like, there's not really, if the internet works, the Wi-Fi works for like 10 minutes and cuts out.
Yeah.
They literally use their phone over there to call someone, get an answer, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't. It's whole different. It was like before. It's like post-internet kind of thing. You know. They have an internet cafe, but we never went. Oh wait, we did go, but it was the weekend, so nothing was open. Remember we went to the mall? There was those internet cafes.
Dude, when we went and ate at that restaurant, there's a club upstairs. We tried talking. They didn't speak English.
Yeah.
We tried getting food up there, and then we went to this other spot, and I swear to God, I think they sent somebody to the store to get food to cook for us.
Probably. It was like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
At least. But it was some pretty good chicken. It was almost like Indian. Like the spices were kind of spicy, like Indian food. But it didn't have a curry flavor to it, which is weird because I don't know exactly what it was. Like what kind of seasoning it was, but it was good. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I brought that hot sauce, dude. I'm
the
still
bongo pili
using
pili.
that stuff. It's so hot.
Bongo pili pili.
Yeah, I got the garlic one. The garlic one was even
my
hotter.
God. I gotta tell you.
Oh my God, I literally, like, if you make like a bowl of noodles or like anything, you need like 2-3 drops.
Right. No, that shit was hot fire.
And it's spicy. Like, we never would have known that stuff if it wasn't for our guy.
Right.
And we went through that whole. You notice that? Did you realize that we went through that whole bottle in a week? He's like, "Oh, you guys love this stuff." We're like, "Yeah." Dude. And even the people from remember the lady from UK? She's like, "Can you guys just put hot sauce on everything?" And we're like, "Yeah, pretty much." Besides breakfast.
No, I do.
I was like, "Yeah." Besides breakfast, yep, goes on everything.
Dude, I love spicy meat and cheese.
Speaking of that, I got some homemade hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking rip it open.
Try it, dude. It's like really watery. Cause
is it hot?
It's got what it is it's pretty much mangoes or no habaneros, chili peppers, and vinegar. That's pretty much all it is. There's still chunks of peppers blended together.
Oh shit, this?
Oh yeah. See, it's I need to figure out how to thicken it up because it's really watery.
Maybe, I don't know. Can you boil it, like reduce it a little bit?
That's what you do. That's like how you make it. You just boil that stuff, you know. It's not bad, but it's got a nice kick to it, and then it kind of simmers out.
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah.
Dude, no. Oh, all right, so in between Bongo Pili Pili and Kilimanjaro Instant Coffee.
Instant Coffee was actually not bad.
We were hiking.
But yeah, it's too. Yeah, the consistency's not where I want.
We were hiking to the summit, and
what, on the 5th day?
No, the last 7th day.
Or the 7th day.
Or it might have been 6th. But anyway, we're going to the summit, and I had the sudden urge to take a massive shit.
And the most unfortunate part of it, too.
We were at 19,000 feet.
It's pitch dark.
We were at 19,000 feet. It was dark, right before dawn. And I ran off the trail to a spot with a bunch of rocks and such. And just fucking... I took a shit at airplane altitude. And...
It was cold, too. So cold, man.
Dude, thank God. I'm gonna have that biodegradable toilet paper in my pack, like, every time.
Yeah.
Because, dude, it happens. You know?
I got lucky. Anytime I had to use the bathroom, it was like after we ate, and they already had we were close to a bathroom. But the bathroom's there, or just literally tile and then a hole in the ground.
Oh yeah, the installed ones.
And you literally just kind of like squat in the air
Yeah,
and just aim the best you can,
dude.
pretty much. I was not ready for that one.
I think there's signs that
No water, no. Well,
it's healthier.
some
it's
of them
better
have
for
water.
you. Because when you're squatting, your spine is like straight, and as well as everything else is like in alignment. Well, when you're sitting on a toilet, it pinches.
Yeah, it kind of it actually like puts pressure, like bad pressure,
Yeah.
in your stomach and stuff. You know. But like that's how I guess it is in like India and stuff like that too. It's just like,
Yeah, in Japan and China.
hole in the ground.
Why don't we shit in a hole in the ground here? We have running water. This is like Rome before Rome fell. Advanced society,
Like it was nice. Like you knew you were in somewhere nice when they had water to flush the hole in the ground. That's when you knew you were in a good place. Remember like that restaurant we went to?
Yeah.
It was like outside. It was a really cool restaurant. But they had running water in the hole in the ground.
What was crazy was like the hotel. Every single room had its own water heater.
Yeah, that was weird. I just didn't think that was like very efficient, I mean, given the water heater was probably only like 15, 20 gallons.
They strapped it up to the ceiling.
Yeah, it was really, really weird.
But dude, like the Airbnb though, I told my buddy Corey, I'm like, dude, you would lose your mind. Like, it's not built.
It's a cement fucking shed, pretty much.
It's like not conventional the way the shit is built. Like, maybe the doorways are skewed a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, nothing lined up, and it was.
Well, it's hard to
just
set
kind of
cement
thrown together.
Straight. What? Now that I think about it, like the weird part is they ran electrical in there, but how did they run electrical through the cement? You know what I mean? So did they take like a drill bit or something and like drill lines and like now I think about it, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how did they get outlets in electrical ran in like a cement foundation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird. And I didn't think about it till after we got back. I'm like, not every room had electricity, and we were fortunate we did. There was no AC or nothing, but we had electricity.
Dude, I would go back. Mama Oliver, she was such a sweet person, and
I'm glad we went with that lady because that lady had the best reviews because she was the nicest person ever.
She's great. Like,
she really did help. Like, she hooked us up with a free guide, pretty much.
When we woke up in the morning, they just knocked on the door and they're like, "Hey, hello, we have like egg omelets for you. Here you go. They're from our chickens that we live with."
Right.
And it was, I've never been like fed like at an Airbnb or something before, and it was, yeah.
The only time that happened to me is when I stayed on like a farm, and it was like a house, like a guest house built next, they took their house and it had like a lean on the top, and then they took underneath that, and instead of making it a shed, they made it like a small Airbnb with like a shower and like a bathtub, or no, with a shower and a toilet, and they just rented that out, and it was really nice. And it was middle of nowhere, Michigan, and they had chickens. You heard them, and they had farm fresh eggs. And I was like, woke up and when we got there, they just had the eggs in a bowl, and I'm like, they gave us a whole loaf of bread and some eggs just for staying there. And I'm like, that's awesome, dude. Like, oh yeah. It's like everyone I know that has chickens, they either get mauled by coyotes, which they say we don't have anymore. But
my parents have chickens now. They have 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah, they're fat. They're about to start laying eggs.
Damn. They just have some really cool neighbors because you're not supposed to have where we're at.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a city ordinance.
That's fucked up.
But your parents have a big enough backyard where they can get away with it. Unless they get a rooster. The rooster starts cawing, then someone might say something.
I'll yell at them too, and they know I'm yelling. I'll be like, "Where are my fucking eggs?" And they're just like,
huh?
They look, terrified.
Yeah, they like hunch down, like, what's going on? It's funny. But yeah, because I really wanted to get some, because I could have easily made a coop behind my garage. My backyard's like not that. It's decent size, you know what I mean? It's a little bit bigger than yours, but I could have easily made a coop, and I'd love to have some farm fresh eggs because they really do taste different. They really are pretty good,
dude. And there's this route that goes from 8 Mile through Novi all the way to Northville, like the boondocks of Northville, and on the side of the road, of a dirt road, people would leave a carton of eggs on a tree. They'd make a little shelf and put it and be like, "Oh, it's $3," and you put $3 in the
like the
those
gratuity system.
The best eggs.
They're like
I've
more
ever
yellow.
had.
Like the ones I had, they were like yellower.
Oh, just everything.
And they were brown. The eggs were brown.
Yes, they were brown eggs. The color of the egg was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, and I felt like it had like a better flavor to it too.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Like it was more like a natural flavor, more of like a not gamier, but just like the yolk was more. I don't know,
dude. Speaking of gamier, do you remember going to Denver and going to the oldest restaurant in the world? Or shoot, no, in Colorado?
Yeah, it was the oldest restaurant still standing and still in operation in Colorado.
Did we have Wagyu burgers, or was it?
Yeah, it was
the other one.
It was a Wagyu burger, but it was something special. They only, they really try and push their like local farm source stuff there.
Right.
And the lady told us, remember, she's like, I only have 25 of them, and 11 of them are already sold. I'm like, we'll get 3 of them. Yep. Me, you, and Trent. That was a good trip, man. I had a lot of fun. We stayed in a van for a week.
I died on my birthday.
Oh man!
Almost.
We climbed the biggest mountain in Mount Albert, the biggest mountain in Colorado. I was not ready for that, dude. I was not.
So what do you think?
You guys were having the time of your life. Me and your brother were like, this is fucking miserable. I'm out of shape.
You were bitching to yourself. Fuck this, fucking
I was like, I just gotta keep going, And there were so many false summits. You're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be it. You get there and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, at least
there's another
3.
one.
At least 3.
So then you go up like 3 summits where you think it's the top, and you're like, in that week we got so lucky. We had beautiful weather that whole week. We climbed a different mountain every day, and
so
we lived like nomads in a van.
Yeah, that one night
that was fun.
Where we were driving north of Boulder, and we're like, oh, there's a campground here, and I was fucking driving. I was stressed out.
Oh, dude, you drove for 3 hours.
I was singing songs to myself to try to calm down. Then we ended up at the Home Depot parking lot.
Yeah, we drove around for 3 hours. Everywhere we went, we either didn't know where the campground was, couldn't find it, or realized we were on private property.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, we don't want the cops knocking on our door in 2 hours asking us to get the fuck out of here, like we should just go somewhere else. I had to do that the one night too, and I just pulled onto the side of the road and I said, I'm sleeping here. I gave up and was like, fuck this, we're gonna sleep on the side of the road. I don't even care.
Let me get another one.
That was a good trip, man. I want to do that again.
I'm getting fucked up.
I had a lot of fun.
I do too. No, but like, for real though, I think having a little more of a plan.
Yeah. We had like our plans were what we wanted to do, but not where we were staying, and that's what fucked us up.
Now where we're staying. Like, I had this idea.
We didn't have plans where we were gonna sleep that night, which were probably the most important plans, but we're just like, we'll figure it out.
I had this idea. I'm like, I want to be on the top of Colorado for my birthday.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. Like, everything else.
At least you planned that. No one else planned anything like that, you know?
Like, I don't want to, be selfish and take the whole vacation either. And, like, let's do everything else.
I kept my options open. If you wanted to do that, I would have did that. And, Trent didn't care. He had no input on any of that. He was just like, I'll do whatever you guys want to do. It didn't help that it was a holiday weekend and all the campgrounds were full. Remember that?
What holiday was it? Labor Day?
Yeah, it was Labor Day.
Really?
Yeah, we went. No, it was like your birthday. I believe was it Tuesday, Wednesday?
It might have been like
but that weekend.
Starting.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that weekend that there was tons of people there because we called around Denver area. Every campground was full.
My sister was out there too.
Yeah.
We were trying to hang out with her, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. We should have just crashed in their driveway anyways.
So how would you compare climbing Mount Kilimanjaro to climbing Mount Elbert?
Whole different experience, man.
Is it just like pretense? Like, okay, we were hungover, we were sleep deprived, you fucked in the head climbing Mount Elbert, and Kilimanjaro was like...
I was more mentally prepared for that. I was just like, I know I have to do it, and I know we have to get there, and there's no turning back. And I was kind of excited, because, like, every day, you went through a different environment. And I was like, that's going to be so cool.
We went from the jungle to fucking Mars.
It was like, and then all of a sudden, we're walking through sand dunes and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, this is fucking, like, 2 days ago. We were walking through the jungle, you know what I mean?
We heard the chimps.
Yeah, that was scary. They were like, they screamed. They're like, ah! Like, the hell is that? And the guys, and all the guys were like, oh, he's a monkey. And I just started busting out laughing. He's a monkey. And when I told that story to Kayla, she was like cracking up because she hasn't been out of the country either, and the language barrier, it's a real thing, like. They know how to speak English, but the way us Michiganders like bunch our words together and slang it up, and like bruh. If you said bruh to them, they wouldn't even know what that means or what you're
talking. Was our one friend's name? I forgot it, but he's a rapper. You have him on Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
it's his last name's Sylvania or something like that. I still got him on Facebook.
But I'll never forget when we got to the top of Mount Elbert. You were saving this joke. You were waiting for the moment.
Yeah,
to drop.
I had him up.
And we got to the top, and Jeff just looks over here, and he's like,
a shit-eating grin on my face.
He's just like, this climb was so much better on Google Maps. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, it was something like that. And no one even laughed. I was just like, oh, that was a terrible joke.
No, it was fantastic. I told my friends about that moment.
Well, man, that was a lot of fun. I want to go back there. There's so much more to do over there. It's crazy. I set up this impossible gauntlet of maps to go to.
Yeah. Dude, if I didn't have you to help plan the trip, I'd be a disaster. Like, I'm thinking about taking 2 weeks off next year and driving around the country.
You literally need like a month to do that.
I know. Yeah, I'm
like a temporary leave of absence. You're just like, yeah, I'll be back next month.
It's time for FMLA.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
It's like,
but you need a lot of time because
it sounds like ass. You're just driving around. I drive for a living, but you're just driving around and then hopefully finding a spot to stay, and then until you get to your destination, and then you do stuff, and then you gotta drive some more, and you drive some more, but we'll see how that goes.
Because the gamblers, they're planning on doing the gambling, what was it called? It was supposed to happen this year. They wanted to drive Route 66, which starts in Chicago, goes to California.
Oh my god.
It's like 2,000 something miles. They had a rough estimate of where you would stop and stay along the way. And they're planning this in $500 cars. So you know half the time you're going to spend is on the side of the road fixing your car as you're trying to go through Chicago and all the way to California, which is like...
How'd you get into the Gambler? What is that?
The Gambler 500, which I'm wearing the fucking shirt, but it started in Oregon with a group of guys, and they're like, let's take our shitty $500 beater cars and see how far we can get through the woods. Well, there was only like a group of them that did it. There was like, 5 or 10 of them. So then they end up breaking down in the trail, and they're like, well, what can we do to pass time? They're like, well, let's clean up the woods, let's pick up some trash and, help out a little bit, and, we'll camp here for the night, and tomorrow we'll fix our car and go home. So it turned into like a budget off-road thing. And then next year, they're like, dude, we should make a thing of this, invite all of our friends, tell people about it. So the next year, they got like 25 people to do it. And then all of a sudden, it just took off. Now they're holding events all across America, and that's the whole thing of it. Get a $500 car, make it as capable off-road as you can, put bigger tires on it, skid plate, whatever you can. Drive it 500 miles, pick up, pack in, pack out whatever you have, and also help clean up the trails and help people out along the way, have fun while you're doing it. And now it's like everywhere, man. It's pretty much in every state. I've been to a couple in Michigan, and it's always a good time, and I love helping people out and meeting people that like to do the same kind of thing,
Dude, I drove the Honda Guinea the other day.
Yeah, you borrowed that thing.
No, I kind of, I put it on Snapchat, and my friend Josh, I threw it at him. It should be the Franken Guinea now.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
it was
a good one.
It was Nick's car, and it's a Lamborghini, but it's a Honda. It's the Honda Guinea.
He called it Lamborghini. The
Honda Guinea.
Yeah, the Honda Guinea. That's what he called it.
And it should be the Franken Guinea now. It's fucked.
Oh, yeah. It's got 195,000 miles on it. Got exhaust leak, all the
snorkel,
all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, it's like a 2002 or something.
No, it's a 2005.
2005?
Yeah.
It's a 2005. It's got a lift kit.
I put a 2-inch
Civic
lift on it. Skid
snorkel. Plate. You're gonna go underwater with this bitch.
I haven't tested the snorkel out completely. I've hit some mud holes in it, but I haven't got into water past the headlights, welded a
That's
roof
a lot
rack
of water
on the
still.
top. Oh yeah. I mean, I've had her for 2 years, and I took her to 2 events, and she's made it through every one of them. And I figured, yeah, it's a piece of junk car, it's gonna blow up, and it won't. Kayla just drove it to her grandpa's house in Coldwater. That's 2.5 hours away.
Really?
She drove that there.
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude, the Japanese, they know how to make vehicles.
It's like a sewing machine. As long as it got oil in it, it'll run forever.
I'm serious.
Yeah. And the AC still works. Can you believe that?
Hondas don't break.
The air conditioning works great in it.
Where's the Honda on the side of the road?
Yeah, very good question. Good question. Yeah. I mean, that thing's solid piece of engineering right there, man. She's been through a lot, and I haven't really had to do anything to it. Nothing serious. Well, no, I did break an axle one time doing a reverse donut. That was my fault. Hey, the axle was only like $50.
Are you kidding me?
Threw the axle in there. Oh yeah, put brakes on it too. Obviously, you gotta do the brakes.
The axle
Drove around
was $50.
for a year. Drove for under a year with the brakes grinding. And the caliper didn't even seize up or nothing. Threw some new pads on her. She was good to go.
Oh my god.
I drove one of the whole Gambler events, 500 miles with the brakes grinding in the rear, howling. Every time you stopped, it was like cut. And took a picture of it. The pad was like 8. Like, it was so thin. It was like a piece of paper when I took it out. The pad was totally gone. It was on metal for like probably 6 months.
Jesus, Murphy.
But still ran great. Yeah, but you know me, I've been through a lot of cars. After like 2 years, I'm like, I kind of want something else. I mean, that's why I bought this thing. I never had a Subaru before. They only made this thing for like a couple of years. Seen it on a lot on the side of the road, and I was like, you know what? It's not all-wheel drive. I never had an all-wheel drive car. I'm gonna buy it. I've had a couple 4-wheel drive trucks and stuff, but nothing all-wheel drive. And this thing's awesome. Drove that thing to New York, Vermont. Drove it up to the UP. I did get a lot of work done to it. It leaked oil and needed like head gaskets and stuff. But after you do that, it was solid. It's been solid ever since.
Do you think I'm gonna make money off of YouTube? Yeah, me neither.
So we got 20 minutes, right? Oh no, that's the time. What's your timer say? I feel like it's been longer than 40 minutes.
Actually, we're about a half hour on your phone.
Twelve minutes left.
That was close.
No, it's hard to make money on YouTube. I still don't really understand it, how you do it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure you gotta have like a pretty big following
Yeah, you do.
and like be really engaged. Like it's like a part-time job or something.
Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, well, they run ads and then, ad revenue comes back, or you could say, hey, I use this product. This is YouTube. Check this out and buy it off of this link, and you get kickback from that.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like when it's every like half hour or hour, they'll throw that in there,
Yeah. Dude, I got quite the lineup. I asked my dad if he'd be on my podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah, and Katie Hearn, she said she'd like to, which is amazing.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
And my boy Corey.
I got the goldfish brain, so it's like the questions would just be random, and then we would just spurred on to randomness. And
I think we like kind of talked about a lot of shit. It just kind of flowed.
Yeah, it's just like, hey man, remember that one time, or the stories and stuff like that. Because me and you, we've known each other since 8th grade, pretty much.
I think,
and we cycled through quite a few friends, like me and you. You know what I mean? Like
we're at the point to where we've known each other just as long as we have known each other.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, maybe longer.
And not only that, it's like there's always like a person that's been with us for a short bit of time, and then we don't talk to them anymore, or something else goes on, and then we run into someone else, and then it's like they're friends with this person, hang out with them for a couple more years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's not just. It's always been me and you good friends, but there's always like a random like mix up in there
too. You know what I mean? Like, hey, when we used to fucking play video games a lot and hang out, we were hanging out with Dustin. Or hey, when we smoked a shit ton of weed and hung out, we were hanging out with Clayton. Or like, hey, when we used to jam a lot or whatever, we used to hang out with Soper, you know?
I should ask Clayton to see if he'll come talk to me. Dude, in the back of his Chevy or S10, I think.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had the cap on there. We'd each have our own joints, and it was like Christmas. Like, dude, we have enough weed to have our own joints.
Right.
We go to the cemetery.
With our powers combined, we can conquer anything. Okay, let's buy a ton of weed.
That was like one of the best memories of my life is going to the cemetery and just hanging out. We hung out in the cemetery.
We used to we'd always, because we all kind of like the same music too, so we'd like listen to a bunch of Grateful Dead, you know, just like the stoners we were.
No, that's how I got on the Pink Floyd.
Really?
You guys.
Oh shit.
Fuck yeah. I'm like, what in the fuck is this Dark Side of the Moon album?
Yeah, you're like, what is this fucking stoners saying right now? That's funny. I didn't know that. And it's fun, and you know that was decades ago. And
yeah.
Just today found out that you didn't know about Pink Floyd till then. That's crazy. My dad was always into classical music, so I would go and borrow one of his CDs, you know. And I was like, oh, this one looks cool. Huh? Let's see what Iron Maiden's all about, or let's see what CCR is all about. And at that point, I was like a really big grunge kid. I didn't care about classical music, but I was at the point where I was just sick of it and I wanted something new. So I'd go. He had those huge stacks. You'd have like 4 of them, 4 big stacks of CDs. And I'd go and I'd be like, I'd look at the album covers, you know, and I looked at the Pink Floyd one and I was like, oh, those guys look gay or something because they had like the Dark Side of the Moon, they had the prism. Mm-hmm. And then I saw another one of their albums like right above it, or another one of their CDs. And I wish I could remember what CD it was, but I was like, oh, that looks crazy. So I grabbed that one. It might have been Pigs or something like that. I don't remember.
I remember I was obsessed with the Beatles when I was like 16, and then
I didn't know about the Beatles too until I asked my dad. He had the little plush dolls, the Sgt. Pepper's guys, which were probably worth money back then. It was like Paul, Ringo. I think he only had like 2 or 3 of them. And they were little plush dolls, and they were wearing the Sgt. Pepper's outfits. And I'm like, what's up? Why do you have dolls? You know what I mean? I'm like, well, what's up with those guys? Why are they wearing like weird suits with like fringes and stuff? And he goes, oh, that's the Beatles. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who are the Beatles? Just listen to the CD. These are the Beatles. Okay. So that was the first CD I ever heard by the Beatles was Sgt. Pepper's.
Dude, they were...
And that album was like really controversial too.
Really?
Sgt. Pepper's, that's when they were like,
oh, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah, they're just like, oh my God, you know, the Beatles and stuff like. And then come to find out, you know, I start doing research on them, and you know, there's Paul's got his own band and stuff like that.
Dude, they were like every album they came out with. Like, I looked them up. It was every 6 months. They worked hard as fuck.
That's 6 months. That's it.
George Martin made them come out with an album all the goddamn time. But
that's not a lot of time.
Ass.
That's not a lot of time at all. That's crazy.
But the albums that came out with it, every one was different. It's like
they're above their time.
Rubber Soul, you're kind of getting a little
like
weird, and then it turned into Sgt. Pepper, and then Abbey Road. And
3 completely different albums.
Completely. Yeah. Dude, different bands.
Yeah. Literally, you wouldn't even know that was the same band if you didn't know it was the Beatles.
Right.
And I feel like those guys were way above their time. You know what I mean? They came up with so many different styles of music before people even knew different genres.
Yeah.
Well, not new genres, but before people were thinking that you could change your style up like that. You know?
I'm trying to figure out. I think it was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. They were the biggest thing in the entire fucking planet.
Right.
Like,
And it came from a different country too.
yeah.
Just came over here and just took over. That was like, it set a new standard in music pretty much. Like, oh, you can consider yourself this kind of band, but you can just go off and do whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Dude,
change it up. You know, like it's crazy.
What was the Sergeant Pepper song where they had a lot of Indian music? Within You, Without You.
It had the
Yeah.
one of those big huge. Dang, I can't remember the name of those things.
Within You, Without You. That was it.
Yeah,
that was George Harrison. Dude.
No one even like knew what the hell was going on at that point. They're just like, all right, this sounds like a good intro to a movie or something, you know?
It was.
This is,
I heard this and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
and they didn't really even say anything. They're just like, you know, like they just kind of like harmonized and just did weird stuff. I don't know, man.
Is it not dying? That's a different one. That's from the White Album.
But it's like, if I
float
could
down.
go back in time, I would want to see all the greats like that in concert.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, if I could go to Woodstock and see Jimi Hendrix
Yeah.
play the Star Spangled Banner, I'd be like, oh my, like I would feel so much more fulfilled, like seeing all the greats like that, like the Beatles, any Beat. I don't even
It
care.
doesn't even sound like the Star Spangled Banner.
No, not at all. But
Not even close.
the fact that he did that and it was being played decades later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was, and what's really weird though, what makes no sense to me is why did all those people die at like 27 years old?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. You didn't see that?
I mean, is there
It's like-
something deeper than what it is?
But like every one of like all those greats, 27 years old,
Dude, I made
overdose, murder,
So,
dead,
Okay,
gone.
I'm
Right.
not special. I'm not gonna amount to anything. And because of that, I made it past 27.
I honestly thought I thought that was gonna be my time to expire. I was like, if I make it past 27, I can do anything. I thought that when I was younger, because I was just like, all the good die young. You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh yeah, you know, all the greats, they're gone, man. Like, there's not many. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great people out there, a lot of special people, a lot of important people, and awesome human beings. But when I was young and dumb, that was one of the thoughts across my mind. If
Dude.
I make it past 27, dude,
Dude,
I'll be fine. I'll live forever, dude.
In 2020 though, like when you're 27 years old, you don't even know what you are.
I don't even know what you're doing with yourself.
No. I am fucking so happy for people that know what they want to do for a living. Like, and then nowadays it's like, oh, you're gonna date somebody and you're 30 years old. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know who that person is.
Yeah.
Dude, times are changing, man. It's fucking weird.
That hit me Friday night. I go over to Jordan and Sarah's house. They just got this new swing. They're like, oh, we just found this in the
Sex
trash.
swing?
No, not a sex swing. Like an outdoor swing. You know, it can fit 3 people. It goes on your back deck. You know, you can swing on it. And they go, oh, we just found this in the trash. We were riding our bikes, and we seen this say free, and it was on the side of the road. We took it and we hurried up, ran home, grabbed my truck, put it in the back of my truck, and it's a nice swing. Like, it's not rusty or nothing. And they're just like, oh, I was like, well, that was brand new. Let's go check it out. So I sat down it, and I'm swinging, and I just kind of like zone out. And I guess I had like a shitty look to me, or like I wasn't happy. And Jordan looks at me and goes, what's wrong, man? I was like, just been thinking a lot. He goes, what are you thinking about? I was like, kind of bummed out. He goes, yeah, what's going on? I was like, I feel like I haven't found my purpose in life, man. Like, I do all this fun stuff and all this stuff, but it's like, I don't know where I want to live. I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I was like, I'm 30 years old. I should know all this by now. I mean, I still have a lot of work left in me and a lot of things to do, and I'm like, consider myself a go person. Like, I always wanna do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, time is done.
And I just don't know what to do, dude. And then he's a very optimistic person. You know, he has great ideas. He's always thinks positively, you know, and I like that about people because it's hard to find that nowadays. People are so down on themselves, and you know, and I was waiting to hear his response because it's like one of those guys that he'll sit there and think about it for a second, only to think of something positive to tell you. And then his friend comes over and sits right next to us and he goes, "Yeah, I just broke up with my girlfriend." And I'm like, "Oh, he's got it way worse than I do. You know, that's way more problem than I got. You know what I mean?" So then we immediately jump to conversation and just try to help, like, because I try to think positive. You know, I try to be the most optimistic as I can. And I feel like being so like the last thing that I did that like fucking set me straight like that was when I blew myself up like a couple years ago. It really fucking made me appreciate things way more. It gave me a different perspective. Like thinking that I almost just accepted being dead. Like I almost was just gonna lay down in my backyard and just let it happen. And then my neighbor fucking busts out of his house, comes out, sees me on fire, just tackles me, fucking puts me out. And I'm just like, that moment I was just ready to accept it. Like I thought I was done for. I thought that was the end of the line for me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what to do. I stopped, dropped, rolled.
Holy fuck.
Didn't have my hose on didn't have my hose hooked up to my spigot outside, so I couldn't, douse myself. And after that, man, it just gave me a whole different outlook, dude. Just gave me it made me feel grateful for waking up every day. It made me just think that I don't have it that bad. I'm not a shitty person. It just humbled me. You know what I mean? I just felt
that's beautiful.
And honestly, it's I'm so glad that happened to me. I'm not glad that it happened to me, but I'm happy that the experience that I got out of it made me optimistic and made me happy. Well, not happy, but it made me rethink things in life. You know what I mean? It was just it brought me to a whole nother level where I just why am I bitching? Why was I so down on myself? Why was I such a narcissist? Not narcissistic, but why did I think I had life hated me? Why was I so bitter? You know what I mean? It fucking
life. At my work,
it changed my mind mentally.
Good.
Being
I think being
it
when
whittled
you die,
it whittled me down to just to my core. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it honestly.
Confucius had a quote. I think he said something like,
Gotta check this temperature real quick.
Go ahead.
Fuck, I forgot how it went. Let me think about it.
It's something like that. Just kind of rewires you, you know?
Yeah. Dude, I had depression, and I was dying isn't that bad. I mean, it's not. But when when you don't have it, you realize. I'm gonna make a song. It's gonna be number 1. It's gonna called First World Problems.
And that's what's funny is because I say that to people all the time, and nobody kind of understands that. I'm like, oh yeah, you just got first world problems.
You do.
And
for real.
You really do.
The first time I really thought about it was I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I was coming home, And
This thing actually kept really good temperature. Sorry
Dude,
to cut you off.
for
We're
real?
still at 150.
dude,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we should be done.
Mashing.
But I came home and I'm like, oh, we just brewed a beer, and Garden City just said like we might have lead in the water, and I'm
Oh yeah,
and
I
I'm
remember that.
I'm thinking about that, and then I think my truck broke down or something happened, and I'm just like, these are first world problems. I feel privileged. There's really nothing I should be bitching about. And I take that mentality to work. Everybody fucking bitches at my work.
That's
Everybody.
another thing too though. Like,
Everybody's got something to bitch about, dude.
yeah, I mean,
I do my best to. I'm just not gonna spread that energy.
nobody's perfect. Nothing, you know. It's just be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's first world problems usually.
Yeah, I know. Like,
And people don't realize like that there's a lot of people that haven't even left the state of Michigan, let alone the country.
right,
You know what I mean? Damn, these mosquitoes are fierce, bro.
dude. Going to Tanzania fucking humbled the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it really does.
I'm like, dude, you really don't need anything
right?
to live a happy life.
Most of them didn't have cars.
No,
I got
fuck it.
I got 3 of them. You know, like
And a motorcycle.
right, and
And
all
a
the
side by
others.
side.
Yeah, and all the other dumb shit I have. You know what I mean? And these guys have a family, and they walk to work and run everywhere they go, because that's what they have.
Dude,
They have
it
the
was
clothes
like-
on their back
Yeah.
and willpower, and that's all they need.
I have a lot of shit. Like, I have a house, I have a truck. I don't want any of it. I don't need it. Fuck it. I almost want to make myself suffer to, like, really live life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I mean, I don't know. But we gotta Vorloff this thing.
All right, cheers.
We need a big old.
Say goodbye, Jeff.
We need a big old.
All right, come
pitcher.
here. Give me a hug.
Oh, take your glasses off.
All right, we gotta get it. We gotta get in the camera.
All right. I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy.
We can go on for hours. You're one of my best friends, and
This has been hours. This is gonna be a fucking riot.
3 hour.
Probably.
Nice.